Wow, it has been crazy to watch what is going on, especially in the home building industry right now, with this frenzy going on in not just new homes, but all homes, and how that's being impacted by shortages in so many different areas and supply chain disruptions. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Living green or sustainably is about more than saving on your electric bill and doing your part to protect natural resources. It is about a safer and healthier life for you and your family without sacrificing style, quality, or budget. This is a movement to provide all of us with clean air to breathe and water to drink, safe, healthy food to eat, and places to live, and energy to run the places where we live, learn, play, and work. The Everyday Green Home Podcast helps you get the value of green for you, your family, and your community. Whether it's green homes, green living, or the people who make it happen, join me, Marla Esser-Close, to learn how green and sustainability practices and products work for you and our world. Hey, y'all. This is Marla, Green Home Coach, and Tony is with me today, my ever-popular co-host.
I don't know if I'm popular, but I'm ever.
Well, I'm going to go with that. And we're having fun today. We are in studio, face-to-face.
Who would have thought?
And we're safe. We've made sure everything's safe.
Yeah, we're both vaccinated.
Yeah, we're vaccinated. We're in a studio where everybody's vaccinated. And this feels so good.
It almost feels like a little slice of normal.
Yeah, that word.
Normal.
Yes. There is no such thing as there, except for normal Illinois.
But it's a great word for what we're going to talk about today.
It is a great word for what we're going to talk about today. And I'm sure y'all read the papers or listen, well, the papers. My gosh, talk about a throwback there. Read the news.
Read the internet.
I have been around my parents a lot lately.
Yes, you have. Is that an unintended consequence of the pandemic?
As an unintended consequence. Yes. We've done another podcast, if you haven't listened to it yet, on unintended consequences. So there you go. Anywho, the housing market for real estate and new builds and remodeling is going nuts right now.
And it's all connected.
So this is summer of 2021, early summer, and we're seeing these huge impacts that are affecting costs, they're affecting timing, they're affecting how people are moving around. And from everything I'm reading and everyone I'm listening to and talking with, it is almost like, I'm going to say the perfect storm, but that's kind of a scary.
It really is.
But we've had all these things align that have, and some of these things that are aligning have 10, 12 or more years in the making.
Yes.
So let us set this up for you. Right now, we're seeing houses get sold sight unseen to the highest bidder.
Correct.
We're seeing new homes average anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 more due to, and it's been mainly talked about due to the rising price in lumber, which is about quadrupled in the last couple of years. However, there's other impacts to that.
Yeah, there's more.
It's not just the rising cost of lumber. What else are we seeing? Oh, not enough people to work in the construction and skilled trades.
Labor shortage.
Even finding someone just to come to your home to do a simple repair has become challenging.
It's all connected too.
It's all connected. It is definitely connected. So we're going to break it down into 3 parts today. Does that work for you?
At least.
At least, right? Okay. So, but I like the way you said this to me earlier when we were prepping for this, is there's 3 parts to a house.
That is correct.
And each of them contributes to this challenge that we're seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's materials.
Correct.
There's the land.
Yes.
And there's labor.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're having challenges with all 3.
Jinx. Okay, so let's start off with materials. What's going on? Besides, lumber we can talk about too.
Okay, let's talk about the easy thing, just get it out of the way.
Okay.
Lumber.
Got it.
We have the shortage of lumber, and it's multiple things. It's sawmills were shut down because of the pandemic, and you have a lot of people questioning that. Why? Because if you've ever been in a sawmill, there's a whole lot of space in a sawmill that you don't have in a normal manufacturing facility, a meat packing plant, things like that. So there's a lot of people questioning why were they shut down.
Okay.
So that's one. You also have border issues. So lumber, a lot of it comes from Canada.
Correct.
I know in St. Louis, one of the home builders I work with uses lumber that comes out of Canada. And what they're saying is the turnaround time for shipments is ridiculous because it has to cross the border and quarantine, and to go back, it has to quarantine. So the drivers to transport all of this are having their issues as far as being locked up. Once again, we don't think about this,
right,
but the transportation of the materials is also an issue.
And that's going to come into some other things as well. So keep that in mind, folks.
So that's the lumber side.
But we also have, which I read after digging around some more, we have fewer sawmills online now than we did, say, 10, 20 years ago, because many of them shut down with the Great Recession and didn't fire back up.
Because of demand.
Right.
It was supply and demand.
Because we still are not anywhere, we're not up to where we were pre-recession for new home starts.
No, not even close.
Not close.
So let's just move away from lumber itself as far as studs and everything else. I mean, I'm pretty sure every listener here has walked through Home Depot looking for a sheet of plywood.
$80.
If you can find it.
Yeah.
If you can find it.
And there are alternatives to work in many situations. And I'm finally starting to hear some of these alternative material producers and salespeople finally getting very loud that, hey, we are an alternative. So we'll see where that goes.
Okay. Well, let's just continue, though, on the big supply chain issues. Cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
Massive, massive issue. You can't get kitchen cabinets. And in the new construction market, got to have cabinets to close. My favorite, though, windows and doors. That's right.
Yep.
Hard to find windows and doors. I have a lot of houses sitting there with plastic wrap on the windows just to help keep water out while they wait and wait and wait.
And why windows and doors?
Because they're made in a factory, and those factories were shut down.
And they can't catch up.
They cannot catch up.
Not yet.
It's going to be a very long time.
And now we also have a 6-month wait for many appliances.
Mm-hmm.
We talked with a friend of ours who works for a local appliance center in Oklahoma City, family-run business, and he was commenting that their warehouse was full. I said, really? He goes, yeah, but every single piece is spoken for and paid for.
Yes.
It's just waiting to go into, but their warehouse is full, so it's like you don't have any room to bring anything else in, even if you had it.
The warehouse is full because the pipeline is stuck.
It's stuck.
Because the house can't get built.
Right.
It can't get to a point of completion where they can deliver the appliance. So
it just keeps cascading.
copper is next. Across the nation, electricians are running out of wire. I've talked to many in our local market that said, yeah, I've got 2 pallets left, and once that's gone, I can't get any more.
I had not heard this one yet.
Oh, yes. Copper's coming because the price of raw copper is shooting through the roof.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it affects plumbers and it affects the electricians.
Which also inadvertently also affects HVAC, heating and cooling, because there's a lot of wiring that goes in with that.
There definitely is. Then you have resins.
Resin.
There's a resin shortage, and this makes plastic. Well, how is that important in construction? Let me tell you.
It's in everything.
Electric cover plates, light switches, wall plates for cable connections or data connections, speaker brackets if you're going to mount a speaker in the ceiling. Well, heck, how about the in-ceiling speaker itself?
Right.
Don't even get me started on paint.
I was just saying, then there's paint.
Yes. So all of this, if I can't cover the opening in the drywall where the electrical wire is, or put a light switch in, I can't get the house inspected. I can't close on it. If I can't close on it, I can't deliver appliances. It is all connected. So now, if I can't build a house in time, and the average subdivision scale builder in our market is saying if you sign today, it's going to be delivered in a year. So it's a 1-year cycle.
So now we have even more demand in the existing home market, which is already tight.
Which means, hey, if I need a house now, ooh, that one went on sale. If I want that house, I better show up ready to write a check for more than you're asking. And it's not even the price of the house anymore. It's what they're giving up. You know what? I don't need inspections.
Ouch.
That's a big one.
I've heard this.
They'll waive inspections, and the home buyer or the home seller will take their bid, even if it's a little less, because they don't have to deal with inspections.
And folks, don't do that, because if you do not have a home inspection, you have no recourse.
It's a horrible idea.
You have no idea what you're dealing with. You may have termite issues, water issues, major components that don't work, and you're never going to know. Now, if you're okay being prepared to buy a house without an inspection and potentially put tens of thousands of dollars into it, I guess that's okay. But that's likely going to be a potential outcome.
Right. Or you're that person buying that house to rip it down. That is the only way.
But then you can't rebuild it because you don't have materials.
Correct. It's a vicious cycle right now.
It is a vicious cycle right now. And, a few months ago, the home building market was like all at Twitter because there was just so much building going on. And then we started running out of materials. So kind of in a weird way, I guess almost too much of a good thing right now.
Yeah. The problem is we've never got back to inventory levels.
Right.
You just look supply and demand.
And then we had the pandemic and transportation issues.
Demand is outstretching supply.
Yeah.
All of these people during the pandemic that were in multifamily and were in dense housing, they want out because they want single family away from that. So it's a spike in demand, but there's a lot of other underlying issues that are causing this surge in pricing.
So you mentioned folks wanting to move into single-family homes, probably in the suburbs from being in an urban environment, and that requires our second shortage, land.
Oh, yes, my favorite. So depending on where you're at, like here in St. Louis, it's almost impossible to put a new subdivision in St. Louis County. The land just doesn't exist. Now, in outside counties of that, a little further out, yes, you can still acquire farmland and turn it into subdivisions. But it just depends on how willing are you to drive.
And that's what we're seeing in Oklahoma City is, and granted, I'm on the edge of town, the edge of development. Actually, city limits still goes a few miles more because Oklahoma City is one of the biggest land area cities in the United States. But what's happened with the advent of the pandemic is that, or hopefully the ending of the pandemic, but a lot of people are now able to work more flexibly.
Yes, they can go anywhere.
Maybe work from home, part-time work from home. And people do want homes, where they don't have huge commuting costs. But now that we don't have as much commute to consider, it's opening up new areas for people to live in.
Yes.
And it is changing, how we're looking at how we're building homes or where people are going. And every city has a unique situation according to what's going on in that particular area. But it's shifted. I mean, wow, everything shifted from this.
Let's look at the basics of land. One, it's finite.
It is finite.
It is one of the resources where you just can't make enough. You can't make any more. It is what it is. The supply is what it is. When you use it up, there's no more.
And some cities have limited how far out you can build to control sprawl.
Yes, you have that. Some municipalities are limiting the size of house you can put up.
Right.
Because they don't want the McMansions anymore. They want more equalization of housing sizes in their communities. Okay. So first off, the land is scarce. Second, 10 years ago, you wanted to bring a new subdivision online. You acquire the land. It takes about 6 months to get through permitting and you start developing. Well, that 6 months 10 years ago is now about 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Part of this is different municipalities. Part of this is federal government. As more regulations come in, it stretches out the time to develop, which leads to increased costs. And
we have, which will be our third topic, we need labor to develop that land. And we're not going to go into that yet because we're going to take a breather here in a moment. But let's kind of wrap up this land issue and then we'll take a quick breather. But the land piece is critical because you have to have a place to put a home.
Yeah, you have to have something to build on.
And we're seeing a lot of infill building for this very reason, but that's not going to support neighborhoods.
No, it doesn't. And, depending on the municipality, some municipalities say you have to have 3-acre lots.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, density would be helpful there.
It would, but it's not going to change.
And this issue is not going to go away.
No, it's not.
And this is a lot of the reason why high-density units, condos, apartments, etc., will likely continue to stay in our mix of things simply because they use less land.
Well, and they should, because not everybody wants to take care of 3 acres. I know I don't.
Oh, tell me about it. Sign me up. I don't. I sign me up for the not taking care of it part.
Right. I got a little bitty lot. I got a little bitty house. I don't need much.
Yep.
It's me.
Yep. So we materials, land. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a breather and come on back for, you guessed it,
labor.
You probably don't have the time, resources, or know-how to research and shop for better options for you and your world. That's why I've done it for you. The Everyday Green Home Shop is my curated collection of better products for a safer, healthier, more comfortable life in your home. Through simple buying choices, you can change your home easily. My book laid out the how to do it. Now, the Everyday Green Home Shop gives you a place to put those ideas into action with your buying choices. I invite you to look through the online shop and choose an item or two to swap for something you usually buy for your home. Once you make a selection, it will take you to one of my trusted affiliate sites or the Amazon site you already use. Super easy. Products on Everyday Green Home range from indoor-outdoor rugs made from recycled plastic to my husband's favorite reusable silicone straw that fits in his pocket. I look for third-party independent green labels or go through a trusted third-party verification process to validate the products I curate for you. Go to everydaygreenhome.com for what you need to create a stylish, safer, and healthier home easily. Okay, so the impacts of rising costs of all kinds of things to build homes.
Material, land.
And now, labor. Don't you like that, folks? We can just talk together.
We couldn't do that in the past.
No, we couldn't.
2 years of this.
Okay, so we're all hearing labor shortage for everything right now, not just in the home building industry, but we've had a labor shortage in home building and the skilled trades for years.
Yeah, I always tell people in our market in St. Louis, we're 4 years into a massive shortage of labor. Now, we've seen it. Part of it is we lost a chunk of labor during the Great Recession.
Yep.
So we basically lost a generation, and people do not understand that.
Some cases, too.
Easily.
So this is when we took shop class, woodworking class, electronics, automotive, all of these out of high schools.
Right.
And we have generations of young people that don't even know how to handle a tool. You know, Scott was in field operations at a cable and internet company, and he had a new hire that didn't know how to use a drill.
I could see that. I really could.
I mean, he learned, they taught him, and he went on to become a very successful technician. But I'm like, I even know how to use a drill, and I'm not real handy with tools.
Yeah, you have a few things going on, okay? First off, you had higher-ups in the government basically saying everybody should get a college education. They wanted people to aspire to be great. They want people to aspire to be educated. The problem is college is not for everybody.
It is not.
It is not for everybody.
But higher education doesn't need to be college.
Correct. Higher education just does not need to be 4 years of classes and here's a degree.
Correct.
Here's a piece of paper. The trades are higher education.
They are, and it requires a lot of thinking.
They are
a lot of skill.
3 to 5 year apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm 18 years old. I'm getting out of high school. I'm going to college. I'm doing whatever. I'm graduating with my degree and anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 in debt or more, making, I don't know, depends on what the major is, 40s, 50s coming out of college. Now, I'm that same person, and I'm going into the carpenters union. Yes, I'm going to spend 5 years, but you know what?
You're getting paid.
I'm getting paid. I'm going to be in my early 20s, to maybe mid-20s, making between $60,000 and $100,000 a year with zero debt.
Okay, y'all heard that correctly. 60, as in 60,000, to $100,000 for some of the skilled trades.
Absolutely. It's not some. Carpenters, sheet metal workers, electricians, yes.
National averages are not quite that high.
Well, it depends on residential versus commercial.
It does. It depends on resident. But nonetheless, it's training while you're working.
Yes.
In Oklahoma, you can go to a career tech at the same time you're finishing your high school, getting your high school diploma. So you can do a dual enrollment. We have a lot of companies that will pay for your training if you commit to coming to work for them. Our career tech program in Oklahoma and in many states, it's extremely robust. And looking, they are filling the gap for what happened when we took a lot of these hands-on courses out of high school. Now, I'm also starting to see some high schools bringing some of those classes back, and some of them that never left, but a lot of them did. And I was trying to remember the name of Mike Rowe's foundation because he's doing micro as in dirty jobs.
Yeah, the dirty jobs, yep.
Yeah, he's doing a lot to help promote the skilled trades building,
the old traditional blue-collar workers.
Right, the people that are smart and gifted with their hands and able to do the doers, the people that are doing the physical parts. And it has to be done.
But remember, these are the jobs that built the middle class.
They are totally the jobs that built the middle class. So one of the things that was so interesting during the pandemic is it was those frontline essential workers that kept us going.
Oh, we didn't shut down.
Yeah.
We joked all the time. We would be on a job site doing an electrical walk, myself, the super. Now, we were Zooming the homeowner. They weren't out there.
Right.
But all the trades were out there.
Yeah.
And, we're still working.
So let's talk. Okay, so that was one element of what happened with the labor shortage.
Okay. You have the Great Recession.
And now, because of what happened with what you were talking, where we skipped generations, we're graying.
We're graying out.
Skilled trades.
So, at least in St. Louis, the average age of, let's just use the carpenters, is in the mid-50s.
Yeah. And we're seeing that especially in plumbing and heating and cooling as well.
Electricians, too. We're getting there.
Any of the ones that really took a lot of training. I'm really excited. Next week, I'm going to a project in Utah that's in the Parade of Homes, actually, called The House That She Built.
Well, tell us about it.
It's all built, designed, all the trades, the engineers, the construction folks, by women.
I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, huh? But you and I both know that more and more women have been coming into the construction world for the last couple decades.
Yes, but do you know what percentage they make up?
Oh, it's still single digits.
3 to 4%.
Yeah, it's still single digits.
And if you include the back office, the administration jobs, it's closer to 10. Yet the workforce needs us.
Well,
we need women doing this work.
Women have always been in construction, in the back office, in the sales side of it.
But smaller percentages.
Let's talk about the women that are actually involved in the construction process.
Swinging a hammer.
Yeah.
Installing, heating, cooling.
They're there.
All of it.
There's just not a whole lot of them.
No, there's not. And the reason this group, so it's actually a group that I belong to as well on a national basis, and some of y'all heard this before, called Professional Women in Building. We are a council of the Home Builders Associations and the National Association of Home Builders. So this group in Utah decided they wanted to bring awareness to women in the building industry and show that it could be done. And I think what's extra cool about this is many of the women on this project are also moms. So they had a chance to bring their daughters onto this project and all their kids, boys and girls, and show them what they do. And a lot of these children of the people building the house got a chance to set a brick with their name in it and do something that made them a part of this home. I am so excited to go see it. We're doing some health and wellness compliance work out there, and then we're going to do a live podcast for my other podcast that I am co-hosting, which I haven't had a chance to talk about yet. But if you want to go listen to that one, it's Healthy Home Take Control. and hopefully I'm not sure, we'll be able to do a little bit of recap on it on this one, on Everyday Green Home. But this is what we need. We need people to see people that they can relate to doing the jobs.
Well, especially, it's an industry where we need people.
Badly.
And it's a well-paying industry. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't worry about...
I need to go back to career tech and do something else.
Well, think about it. In St. Louis, we don't worry about wage discrimination.
No.
Because most of what we do is all union-based.
Right. And that's like in Oklahoma City, where I am, there's very little union in our residential market.
Well, and that's how it is in most markets. You know, St. Louis we're unique in that. But because of that, we have very, very strong labor relations.
Well, and I remember even when I was still here, the Carpenters Union was hugely helpful in helping with education and working with the Home Builders Association on workforce development and getting out in front of schools and students to help them see that there were these great opportunities.
Well, that's because they have a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
You can't have one without the other. Carpenters need builders, so they have something to build. And builders need carpenters to produce their homes.
Right. And I don't think, it was funny, so as my part of Professional Women in Building in Oklahoma City, we brought an event called Build My Future to Oklahoma City back in 2019. And Build My Future started in Springfield, Missouri, with a group that was community-based. It was like workforce development people, the Chamber of Commerce, the Home Builders Association, and I can't remember who else. And I caught wind of this and visited with one of the folks at the HBA to learn more about this event. And I actually had a chance to go volunteer at it, and I was so excited. So what Build My Future is, it's a one-day hands-on construction day for students, usually high school students.
Oh, how cool.
So what's different about this is they get to come in and do stuff. They don't get to hear about it. They don't get to see a video on it. They're doing it.
They give them a hammer. They give them a drill.
Yeah.
They say, this is what you're going to do. Drill here, hammer this.
Right.
Put it all together.
So when we did it at our event in 2019, there were these two young ladies that they're on the interview. If you want to go watch the video, it's buildmyfutureokc.com and go to that may move by the time this podcast goes out, but there will be a video of our event in 2019 somewhere up there. But these two young ladies said, I had no idea there were so many things that happen in the building industry. I just thought it was hammering nails. And because she'd never been around it, she had no idea. And they had a ball. They were so fun to watch, especially the young ladies, because so many times young ladies are not as involved in things that have been traditionally guys.
Right.
And they were having a ball. And I think the funnest one is we had some heavy equipment out in the back, like they could move the little digger unit and drop it into, pick up a ball and drop it into a bucket, game kind of things. But here's a generation that's used to playing video games, and now they're on the real thing.
And, if you've never been on an active construction sites can be a blast.
Oh my gosh, I love going on sites. One of my favorite things to do.
I mean, you walk in, there's music going.
Yeah.
People are making fun of each other. It's a very jovial atmosphere. It's a hard work.
And
everybody works. It's a team.
Yeah.
You'll walk in, there's multiple trades working for different companies, but they're all trying to do the same job and accomplish the same goal, which is produce this home. We all know our place. We all know our part of the process. We all know when it's time to go. Because we're all used to seeing each other on the same sites, we develop friendships. But because of that, when I have an issue and another trade is causing it, I can say, hey, I need this to happen because of this. And it gets taken care of. It's not a fight. But you have to develop that rapport with everybody. And you do it on the job site.
I remember one of my very first projects that I was doing the green certification support on, years ago. And it was a remodel of apartments. And there were, I think, 6 or 7 buildings. And the project manager from the builder, they also were involved with the units, but they had to coordinate moving everybody around. And then we had to coordinate the trades coming in the right order.
Right.
To demo the units and then to put everything back together. I have never been so impressed, and project management's right up your alley, but the amount of behind the scenes scheduling and estimating and working and project managing that goes into this, and then coordinating with the hands-on and coordinating with the weather, it's very exciting.
Just little things like if you ever watched my project coordinator, Sarah, and my field coordinator, TJ, on Fridays, their job is to set the schedule for the next week. Why are we on Fridays? You're setting the schedule for Monday because it's construction and things are constantly changing. So you are making sure that the next unit that is ready is the one you're on.
Right.
So if you show up and it's not ready, well, you've wasted time.
Right. And time is money.
Our schedules change
all the
by
time.
the hour.
Yeah.
It's like watching a coordinated ballet of moving jobs and placing them, and just the amount of people you have to talk to and be on the same page with.
Right.
It is a lot of effort.
So this whole idea of labor shortage is the third part of this three-legged stool.
It's not getting any better.
So what can we do about it? We can encourage young people to learn more about opportunities in the trades.
Yes.
And hopefully connect more with them coming into the trades, and particularly with more women.
Well, and I think it's everybody.
It is.
There's a job for everybody in construction.
There is.
If you want a job, you can find one. Now, certain markets like ours, heavily union. So you have to get into the apprenticeship programs and all that. But they are looking for people. They're actively looking for people.
One of the beautiful things about the apprenticeship programs and the structure that the unions bring to it is that you're in a program.
Yes.
And it's coordinated. They help get you on jobs. So a lot of that happens. There's other ways this happens in Oklahoma City. There's a number of different programs that work kind of in that vein of thought. Career techs, I can't remember how many career techs we have. There's 3 major ones just in Oklahoma City. And they work, again, to get you through the programs, to get you out into apprenticeships.
Right. They have the relationships with the employers.
Exactly. So there is great opportunity for great jobs, for great careers in the trades and in the building industry. And I will definitely post some links in the show notes so y'all can dig in and share it.
So you know what I really like about construction as a career?
Go for it.
You can't outsource a home to another country.
Nope, you got it here. It goes on the land. So this is something that we hope we're impacting personally, and we hope that you, oh mighty listener, will help share the news of how we can keep this industry growing and help people have great careers. Last thoughts?
Well, I've been in construction, working in construction, various capacities for 20-something years. It come and go. I've seen it change. And the biggest thing I can tell you is it's not going away. There's always going to be a need for it. And if labor does not find additional workers, what's going to happen is the trickle down. It's unintended consequence again, but the trickle down is going to be immense. And the reason why I say this is because all skilled labor will be absorbed and controlled by the big home builders in every market. And what that means is the residential customer who needs some work done in their home, you're going to be the last person that they get to, and you're going to be the most expensive, because they're going to give the deal to the person that's making them work on 300 homes in a year, not the person that they're getting one project from.
Okay, so your to-do, folks, help us help get people into the building industry, the skilled trades. If you know of a student that this would fit, please connect them with this information. And we will work through all these shortages. So it's going to be a time for everybody to have a lot of patience, a lot of grace, and we'll look for a lot of solutions. So with that, we have hope.
As always.
And we leave you with a hopeful thought too. So go forth and prosper and have a great green day. That wraps this episode of the Everyday Green Home Podcast. Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this episode. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Ready to get started? Get more information, how-tos, and resources in my private Facebook group, Love Your Everyday Green Home. See you there. And remember that living a little better and a little greener is easier than you think.